Supreme Commander Zex Thul stood on the command deck of the inevitable Conquest, his forearms crossed in satisfaction as he surveyed the holographic display. 27 warships of the Vrexian Armada hovered in perfect formation around the small blue-green planet. The conquest of Sol 3 would be swift, decisive, and most importantly, would cement his status in the Imperial hierarchy. "Begin the standard approach," he ordered, mandibles clicking with anticipation. "Show them the might of the Vrexian Empire." The invasion had been meticulously planned. Intelligence gathered over the past 3 cycles indicated that the humans possessed rudimentary spacefaring technology, nothing that could withstand the full might of an Imperial battle group. Their communications had been monitored, their defenses mapped, their political structures analyzed. The species was fractious, divided into competing nation-states with minimal unified defense capabilities. They would make excellent servants of the Empire. "Supreme Commander," the sensor officer's voice carried a note of confusion. "We're detecting a single vessel approaching from the dark side of their moon." Zex Thul's inner eyelids blinked in amusement. "A lone defender?" "Project it on the main display." The hologram shifted to show a sleek vessel, roughly 1/5 the size of the inevitable Conquest. Its hull was matte black, absorbing rather than reflecting light, giving it a predatory appearance. No external weapons were visible, though sensor readings indicated significant energy signatures. "They are hailing us, Supreme Commander." How quaint. Let us hear their surrender terms. The communication officer tapped several controls, and a human face appeared on the screen. The creature was pale-skinned with close-cropped dark hair and eyes that betrayed no fear. "Vrexian Fleet, this is Captain Samira Chen of the Earth Defense Force vessel Retribution. You have entered restricted space without authorization. You will power down your weapons systems and withdraw immediately, or we will be forced to respond." Laughter rippled across the command deck. The audacity of the demand was entertaining a single vessel ordering an Imperial battle group to retreat. "Human," Zex Thul replied, not bothering to mask his amusement, "your courage is admirable but misplaced. Your world is claimed by the Vrexian Empire. Surrender your vessel, and you may be granted favorable terms in service to the Empire." The human's expression didn't change. "You misunderstand, Commander. This is not a negotiation. You have 30 seconds to comply." Zex Thul's mandibles clicked in annoyance. "Target their vessel. A demonstration is in order." "Yes, Supreme Commander." Targeting systems locked. On the screen, the human captain spoke quietly to someone off-screen, then turned back. "Very well. Remember that you chose this." The transmission cut. In the holographic display, the human vessel remained motionless. "Their 30 seconds have expired," Zex Thul noted dryly. "Yet, they have not fled. Admirable, if foolish. Fire when ready." Firing main batteries. Energy beams lanced out from 3 Vrexian destroyers, converging on the human vessel. At the last possible moment, the Retribution moved impossibly fast, as if it had anticipated the exact firing pattern. They evaded. The weapons officer exclaimed, mandibles spread wide in disbelief. "Impossible," Zex Thul hissed. "No ship can." "Supreme Commander, they're accelerating toward us." The hologram showed the Retribution moving directly toward the center of the Vrexian formation, its speed increasing beyond what the tactical computers had deemed physically possible. "All vessels, concentrate fire," Zex Thul ordered, a flicker of unease crawling along his carapace. The space around the human vessel lit up as energy weapons from 20 ships fired simultaneously. The Retribution danced between the beams, its movement patterns defying conventional spacefaring physics. "How are they predicting our firing solutions?" the tactical officer demanded, frantically adjusting targeting parameters. "Supreme Commander," the sensor officer interrupted, voice tight with alarm. "We're detecting multiple small objects, deploying from the human vessel." There. The officer never finished. 6 Vrexian destroyers on the formation's outer edge exploded simultaneously, their shields bypassed, as if they weren't there. "What happened?" Zex Thul roared, inner eyelids retracting in shock. "Unknown weapons technology," the tactical officer reported, voice wavering. "The projectiles phased through shields, detonated inside the hulls." "Impossible," Zex Thul whispered, but the evidence was undeniable. 6 capital ships gone in an instant. "They're hailing us again." Captain Chen's face reappeared, still eerily calm. "That was 1/5 of our standard armament, Commander. The Retribution is a light patrol vessel, the smallest warship in our fleet. The EDF carrier group stationed beyond your sensor range carries 27 ships of this class, along with our actual combat vessels." A cold dread settled in Zex Thul's thorax. "You're bluffing." "Am I?" Chen's expression remained impassive. "Your intelligence is 3 years outdated. While your empire was watching us, cataloging our weaknesses, we were observing you, learning your capabilities. The nations of Earth united when we detected your approach 6 months ago. What you see is the result." On the tactical display, the Retribution was moving again, this time in a complex pattern, through the heart of the Vrexian formation. Before Zex Thul could issue new orders, 5 more vessels exploded. "Your shields operate on a predictable modulation pattern," Chen explained conversationally. "Your targeting systems rely on predictive algorithms that assume Newtonian physics. Your command structure requires confirmation from the flagship before adapting tactics." With each observation, another Vrexian ship disappeared from the tactical display. "Stop!" Zex Thul shouted. "Cease fire and hold position." The remaining Vrexian vessels froze, weapons powered down. On the screen, Captain Chen nodded once. "A wise decision, Commander. Here are our terms. The Vrexian Empire will acknowledge Earth and the Sol system as sovereign. Restricted space. You will share your star charts detailing all Imperial territories. You will release any sentient species currently enslaved within your empire." "The Imperial Council will never agree to such terms," Zex Thul protested, though his voice lacked conviction. "Then the Imperial Council will learn what happens when you mistake technological restraint for weakness," Chen replied. "Humanity has no desire for conquest, Commander. But we will not be conquered. Not now. Not ever." The transmission ended. On the tactical display, the Retribution maintained its position, while the sensor officer reported multiple large vessels emerging from behind Earth's moon. "Orders, Supreme Commander?" the tactical officer asked, voice subdued. Zex Thul stared at the display, at the 16 missing ships that had been destroyed in less than 6 minutes by a vessel the Vrexians had dismissed as insignificant. He thought of the Imperial Council, of the punishment for failure, and of the even greater punishment for surrendering. Then he thought of the calm in the human captain's eyes, the absolute certainty that spoke of capabilities still unrevealed. "Send our acceptance of their terms," he said quietly, "and prepare a full report for the Imperial Council." As the inevitable conquest transmitted its surrender, Zex Thul reflected bitterly on the irony of the ship's name. The conquest had indeed been inevitable, just not in the direction he had anticipated. The report to the Council would be brief but comprehensive. Approach Sol 3 as planned. Engaged single human vessel. Regret followed quickly.